We're rolling?
You got it.
So we're here for an encore performance, which is unusual for me. Now I've worked with 14 dogs that needed more than one session. Now this is a special case because Sage and Artemis are both deaf. Now I'm going to have you pan over and film your son petting Sage.
You have to come out of the pantry, honey. He's in the...
So we just sat down to kind of talk about it, and we're actually talking about the progress the dogs have made, and you can kind of keep on filming. Now, Sage is nervous. She submissively urinated, and she also expressed her anal glands, which is where it really smells like poop or something really nasty, but you can't find any poop. It's when the dog gets just in a heightened sense of anxiety and of fear, sometimes that will happen. Now, the thing that I'm concerned about, what I wanted to film, and of course he's not doing it now, was he was petting Sage to tell Sage it's okay, and I'm sure he was trying to relax the dog. The problem with that is anytime that you're petting a dog, whatever the dog is doing at the time that you're petting is what you're reinforcing or nurturing. So if you have a dog that's anxious or nervous and you pet the dog to try to reinforce it, you're actually going to make the dog continue to be more anxious and more nervous. I've had a number of clients that had a very fearful dog like this, where they were trying, using the same human psychology to pet the dog, which is what we do for a human. But for the dog, it's just making it worse and worse and worse. Not worse, but reinforcing it. Once everyone in the family stopped petting the dog in that unbalanced state of mind, the dog stopped getting quite as nervous as often. And in a couple cases, that was all that they needed to do. And once they stopped doing that, they did some things to build up the dog's self-esteem and confidence. We'll talk about that in a separate video or off camera. But one thing we don't want to do is pet Sage. Artemis is much better, but we don't want to pet either dog if they're excited, if they're fearful, if they're nervous, if they're aggressive. We want to pet them and they're nice and calm and in a calm, balanced state of mind. Normally I pet them and I would say the word, like here we go, you can shoot me now. I don't know if you are or not, I can't tell where you're going yet. So I could say something like for my dogs I say settle. I pet them in a long, slow stroke. That's a nice way to help them, kind of like this. Now, I don't want to lean over, that's why the dog kind of moved away. So you want to, with you guys, it'll be more comfortable. Now, obviously, we can't say settle to your dogs because they're not going to hear anything. So what I would do is come up with a hand motion. So where you're petting the dog, maybe you go like this with your hand. So this would be the hand motion, like a flat. Or, don't try not to do something. I got one guy that was kind of like, and I'm like, that's way too subtle. You want kind of something that's, and this is a smooth movement, and it's kind of following the petting movement that we're doing. So if you're petting the dog in a stroke and go like this in front of its nose, you can kind of associate that calm petting, which we're only going to do when the dog is in a calm frame of mind, with the hand signal. So it's really important. So one of the things we want to make sure we're doing is we're cognizant of when we're petting our dog based on what the dog is doing. And if the dog is nervous or anxious like this, in a separate video, we're going to talk about some things that we can do to help distract the dog and help it feel more confident.
Okay. Can I click off?
Yes.